Hey guys, Lozer Gaming here, and before we even get into the video, I do want to mention that this is the demo version that dropped 2 days ago. And of course, because this is the demo, some things will change. I know a lot of people are talking about there's a possibility of customized charts and things like that. So of course, when the full game drops, there might be differences, there might be changes. I just wanted to say that right off rip. But if it doesn't change, this is the build I'm making. Second, for everyone that's here, this is the King Contact build. I'd like to think that this is one of the best builds, but I'm not going to say it's the absolute best. And the reason is, like I said, this is the King Contact build. This is how I want to build my specific character. As many options as there is in this game, you don't have to necessarily copy someone to get the best build. At least for me, I'm making it based off how I want my character to play. So you don't have to follow every single attribute the exact same, but I am just showing y'all my build just so y'all can get an idea of how I made my character and things like that. So yeah, without further ado, whatever, alright, let's get into the build. But of course, I'm making a small forward. Like I said, this is everything based off my current character, as you know, King Contact, which was in NBA 2K19, the lore with him, Lozer, Dagger, all that stuff. More content coming soon, but that's basically the character I'm going with. Of course, I can't customize how he looks in this game, so this is just how he's going to look for now. He was always left-handed, and my favorite number is 4. Kind of irrelevant. I don't know if left hand or right hand makes a big difference. It might, considering the new system when it comes to layups and things like that, but for now he's going to be left-handed. And yeah, so here's one of the most important parts when it comes to the skill breakdown. Considering you're making a slasher build, you'd think you'd want to go with this one. It has a 95 shot close, don't really matter about that, but it has a 93 driving layup, a 95 driving dunk, sorry, and all this other stuff, right? But like I said before, this is the King Contact build. When I think King Contact, at least from 2K19 King Contact, the way I made him to do two things. I wanted him to be able to keep up with guards speed wise, but also keep up with bigs strength wise. Essentially, I wanted to be able to handle the ball, be able to dribble just as good as guards and playmakers, which in 2K19 I did. I was able to do momentums and things like that, so I was just as fast as a guard. But also, considering that I'm a slasher, I wanted to be able to dunk. Dunking is of course the obvious thing when it comes to any slasher, so you want to be able to dunk over people, dunk on people, or get around people. If there's a 7'3" glass cleaner in a paint, you should still be able to dunk on them. That is my desired playstyle when it comes to anything King Contact related. Lozer, Dagger, they have their own playstyles. This build is revolving off King Contact, which I made him in order to be able to run and dribble just as fast as point guards, but still be able to out-strengthen and dunk on bigs that's in the paint. That is the King Contact build. So if for some reason you don't like being faster than guards and being able to dunk on bigs, you guys can click off the video. Of course, I'm not tripping off shooting. I'm a slasher first, everything else is secondary, but I still need to be able to be fast enough to keep up with the guard. So that's why instead of going with this slasher pie chart where a majority of it is the finishing portion, I am going with the playmaking / finishing section. Both the playmaking part of the pie chart, which is orange, and the blue part are the exact same. And by doing this, my ball handling goes from a 73 off rip to a 78 off rip, at least at max potential. There's also another reason why I went the playmaking section. Of course, my driving layup and my driving dunk got dropped, but at the same time, I still want to be just as fast as the guards. Considering I am a small forward, I'm going to need that speed. There's a lot of news going out from Mike Wang and LD2K and stuff like that of how they're making changes to the game as we speak. And of course, the demo is not going to be the same as the full release game, considering that they're taking feedback from everyone that's in the community as of now. But as of now, small forwards are one of the slowest guard builds. Even though they're considered guards at the small forward position, they're not considered bigs. Unless you take this tweet from Mike Wang saying you are if you're like 7'8" and like 220, I believe. Small forwards are still considered guards in the system. And to be slow as a small forward, especially as a slasher's job, at least King Contact's job, is to be able to blow by his defender. Of course, if you're a two-way slasher or any type of build like that where you have a lot of strength, you can back down, your defender and things like that, or out strengthen them. That's cool. But when it comes in a one-on-one situation with King Contact versus another guard, I want him to be able to outspeed them. If I wanted to outstrengthen a guard, I'd make a big, but I'm not. I want to be able to cross them over. I want to be able to do hezzies, stutter steps, hard stops. Everything else guard related, I want to be able to match the speed of a guard. Like I said, that's the king contact build I'm going with. So having this playmaker attribute is almost a necessity for a king contact build. I don't know about any other slashing build. You know, two-way slashers are great. The pure slasher type, you know, build is great. But when it comes to king contacts playstyle, to be able to outspeed guards and dunk on bigs, this is the patch chart you want to go with. Now, when it comes to the physical attributes, like I said, the goal, outspeed guards and outstrengthen bigs. So of course we're going to go with the speed and agility chart. I'm going to be a small forward, so I don't need too much vertical, but when it comes to the strength, I need to be able to dunk on bigs. I need to be able to blow by guards, and then of course strength in conjunction with the agility portion to have that speed, and if someone tries to contest you, to be able to outstrengthen them and keep speeding past them is, you know, the king contact style. Of course, you know, the balance portion, that's pretty good. The speed and acceleration, vertical and strength are all around the same area. That's also a good choice for, you know, a contact build. But like if you really want to go, you know, above and beyond, this is the chart you pick. Of course, the vertical takes a huge hit that might reduce how you dunk over people or like get height, you know, above the rim and stuff like that. But honestly speaking, at the small forward position, I don't think it's going to be that much of a hit when it comes to it. Now, setting the potential. This is where, you know, I assume a lot of you are waiting for. Of course, off the bat, shot close. Well, not of course for shot close, but driving layup, driving dunk all the way up. Ball handling all the way up. Of course, lateral quickness all the way up. And for a reason I will get to soon, everything in the playmaking category, even if you don't pass the ball, even if you don't do post moves, you want to max these out. I will tell you why. Of course, being a park player, you want to max out your defense, you know, no matter what build you are. Well, I wouldn't say that, but, you know, max out your defense is a good thing to do. Like I said, going back to the king contact thing, I want to be able to compete with bigs. So having this interior defense as well as maybe a little bit of block, I'll put it at, you know, about a 65. I think that's good. Actually, let me load, you know, a 60 is probably fine. 60 is probably fine. Still, max it out. You know, you're going to be playing guards a lot. They're going to be standing in your face, you know, dribbling, doing tight handle moves, sides ups and all that. Or you're going to get, you know, slashers as well that's trying to dunk on you. Being able to rip them is going to be a huge key defensive wise, especially since your blocks aren't that high. Of course, you want to max out. Well, you don't got to max it out. Probably put it off, one off. At least this is how I have it. I have it one off my sanity dunk. I think 70 is, you know, perfect. It don't have to be a 71. Probably not that much of a big deal. And I have my post hooks. I don't use them as much, but my post hooks is at like a 59. That's just like a bailout thing. And also because the way I have this set up, my finishing, if I go one down, it goes back down to 19. If I go one up, it goes to, you know, 20 badges. So yeah, this is the balance you want, or at least this is the balance I have to get 20 finishing badges. Of course, if you go down one, you only have 19. So this is how I have it set up. I don't really need anything in the shooting category, and I don't think upgrading anything will give me any sharpshooting badges. So I will just throw, you know, all of them in mid-range. Having a 72 mid-range, maybe a 70 mid-range, that's fine. And you got about 30 upgrades left. You could throw both of them evenly on your, you know, offensive rebounding. Maybe prioritize defensive a little bit more, since that's when you normally get rebounds. And as you can see, you know, going one lower in the defensive category, you get 4. Going one lower in the playmaking category, you get 24 instead of 25. Going one lower in the finishing category, you get 19 instead of 20. So this is basically, you know, a good balance when it comes to getting badges regarding your finishing, your playmaking, your defending. You get 5 instead of 4, which I think that's pretty useful. And a lot of these defensive categories are maxed out, and then you still get a good mid-range shot as a slasher, which is very important in case you get, you know, a good interior defender against you. And of course, after we do the weights and the heights and stuff like that, these will change. But this is a good starting point when it comes to a king contact build. You have a high, you know, a somewhat high ball control while still having a good layups and dunks. When it comes to body shape, you don't need too much. You could probably go defined, built. One of those two are fine. I'm going more of a built because defined seems more like a little bit more like a shot creator body, having somewhat of a strong build while still being a little bit smaller. Burly is OC. So yeah, I think king contact is more of like a built character. The thing about height, we're gonna leave at 6'7", even though lowering it to like 6'6" will probably give me a higher driving dunk, higher driving layup and things like that, higher ball control. The reason I'm leaving it at 6'7" is because, like I said, I want to be able to be a big, you know what I'm saying? 6'6", you know, I could probably increase my scoring. Of course, going smaller increases my scoring, but when it comes to competing against bigs, it's a lot easier to get a dunk at 6'7" than try to, you know, compensate by being 6'6". Of course, you can score more, but your defense will be a little bit more lacking. Your dunking ability, even though it's a higher dunking ability, you will be shorter. My original king contact build in 2K19 was 6'8", but, you know, looking at it, we lose our driving ability and our layups, which I think the minimum for contact dunk packages for the pro contact dunk package is an 84, and then to get the elite contact dunk package you need an 85. I think Mike Wayne just tweeted that out today. I believe it's the exact same as 19. So being 6'8", I don't think that's a good idea. 6'7", you'll be able to max it out off rip and be able to do both contact dunk packages while still being able to be fast and dribble, which is, like I said, the king contact build. I still have the dunk packages, but at the same time I still have the speed. When it comes to weight, I went 239. I think it's a good balance. We get a +3 on our interior defense. So yeah, I was balancing between these two. The only thing that changes is that the interior defense stays the same, lateral quickness stays the same, speed, acceleration, vertical stays the same. But if you go up from 238 to 239, you get an increase in your strength. I think a 90 strength is a good enough one for a slasher that has 78 ball control, which could change. Still has inside scoring, so he's fast, he can score. He has speed and acceleration, but he also has a 90 strength. That 90 strength will come in clutch. Wingspan, minimized. There's no penalty for minimizing. I mean, you lose a bit of steal and you lose a bit of block, but you gain a little bit of strength. I believe, yeah, you get +2 on strength. You increase your ball control to an 80, and then you also get post moves at a 94, so post spins and things like that. Your mid-range goes from a 70 to a 73. Basically, the only minus for minimized wingspan, at least on this build, is steal and block, which are already pretty good. My steal is good. So yeah, that's all for wingspan. Now this next part, this takeover, I get 4 options for takeover. Of course, we're going to go the slashing one, but the importance to this screen is a lot more. I believe there were tweets sent out from Shakedown, or it was in one of his recent videos, where they were able to pick their takeover. Of course, we can choose our takeover now that we're starting with, but they were able to pick their takeover before each game start. I don't know if that was in my career. I don't know if that was in part, or if it's going to be available in part. But I heard there's an option that you can pick whatever takeover you have available before the game starts. So with that in mind, I wanted to be able to make a build that had multiple options available. I have this playmaking one where I can break ankles and dime to my team and all that. I have the shot creating one, where I can do hop jumpers. Of course, my shooting isn't all the way up, but I do have that 73 mid-range, I believe. That 73 mid-range is good enough. Post scoring, I don't know how this got in here. I believe, yeah, in the playmaking section, I did have a high post move, so I can be a small forward, built like a slasher, have the speed of a playmaker, but have a post scoring takeover. I don't know about you, but I think that's, that's alright. And then we have the slasher takeover. Of course, you'll be able to get an extra boost when finishing at the rim in traffic, more effective gatherers to get past the fence. Of course, I'm going with this one, but like I said, based off that shakedown information, if I have the ability to pick my takeover before every game, and I have 4 options to pick from, that's a huge W. And with that said, I'm going straight to the slasher one. So yeah, of course, we finish it and we get this build, a slashing playmaker, which makes sense because King Contact as a slasher that can dunk on bigs, but he also has that playmaker attribute where he could possibly break ankles, speed boost past people, and then some other badges that when I'm getting into this badge section, I'm gonna break it down even more. But this slasher playmaker is 100% a King Contact build. Now, for the badges. We're going to test it at 99. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'll probably just show y'all, highlights and stuff from it. But yeah, the importance of how I built my character, of course, the slashing playmaker for King Contact, is that the playmaker badges this year are great tools when it comes to slashing. I will show you. So for playmaking, I'm going to get to the slashing part. Quick first step is the best badge in the game, hands down. That has to go on Hall of Fame. Quick first step, you can speed boost so much. It don't matter what your build is. If you have quick first step, you can go from a standstill and immediately shoot in a direction, and people will not be able to react that fast. For no reason at all, I'm going with Hall of Fame ankle breaker just because I want it. Like I said, King Contact is a dribbler. Bailout. This is a badge that at first glance I didn't want to have, because I was like, if you're going to take bad shots, you know, I don't really want to take bad shots. But this is actually a good badge that I recommend to any of my slashers, where you get in those moments where you're about to go up and you see there's like 3 defenders in the paint, and you know, panic pass and pass it. Even you don't even realize you passing the ball, you just immediately press A and or X depending on what console you are. I'm not gonna lie, you know, I go for dumb, you know, attempts all the time, so I think this badge is a great tool. It doesn't have to be Hall of Fame or gold, but I think just having it even with bronze or silver is a good tool to use. But back to the amazing badges. Stop and go, heavily underrated. Hall of Fame immediately. When I tell you the stutter steps in this game, I've been practicing, you know, pressing LT to do a stutter step or a hard stop. I've been practicing it in 2K19. It wasn't as effective, no one used it. But in this game, in the 2K20, at least in the demo, the stop and go badge will give you so much access to new animations. Is actually insane. This, in conjunction with quick first step, will have your defender stunned and cannot move while you're driving. I have some clips I'll show you in a second, unless I'm showing them on the screen now, but it's actually insane. Now, because we have quick first step, I think a good badge to have is tight handles. Now, tight handles, I didn't really, you know, it didn't really say too much. Ability to, in size up situations, make it easier to break down an on-ball defender. So basically what it means is, if you're standing and you're doing multiple crossovers, multiple sides up and stuff like that, and then you suddenly run in a direction, there's a chance your defender might be stunned. Now, this definition right here, it didn't really sell it as much. It was kind of there, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't sell it as much to make it, you know, worth having on gold or Hall of Fame. But then this tweet from HeightWeight that tweeted out the day I'm about to record this video, saying that this, in conjunction with quick first step, is probably the most god tier slasher move you could do. He didn't say that word for word, of course, but he said that tight handles will allow you to stun the defender and beat them with your first step. So basically, if you're dribbling a lot in one place and you suddenly run to the left, you could stun the defender and they won't be able to react as fast. This, in addition to quick first step, where the badge is literally giving you a fast, quick first step, this will probably boost your acceleration and speed so much that the defender won't realize what happened. So yeah, I didn't even upgrade this. I think I had it bronze, maybe silver. I think gold or Hall of Fame is a great choice for this badge. Just these 3 badges alone at the bottom, I don't know about ankle breaker or bailout, but stop and go, tight handles, and quick reflexes are great tools to use as a slasher. I don't know about any other builds. I could care less about any other builds, but as a slasher, these are necessities if you want to attack the basket and break your defender. So having these on Hall of Fame is great, but if you are using the slashing pie chart where 65% is the finishing section, you cannot get these Hall of Fame. So all of these abilities, you know, you can have gold max. That's not using its full potential. So if you want to be able to upgrade these to Hall of Fame, you need to use the pie chart that has slashing and playmaking in it. Of course, you don't need them, but like, just stop and go. If you do not have this badge, you are not getting no animations close to this. I've seen some animations where I immediately stopped and then ran in another direction, and then the animation itself was like top tier playmaking animations. I haven't used this tight handles much, but after this tweet, I'm excited to use it, or at least see what it's, you know, see what it's about. I probably won't put it on Hall of Fame because I don't expect myself to be sitting, you know, in one place doing a lot of moves. If you want to do that, you probably have to have handles for days. Maybe somewhere around this range. Gold, space creator on bronze. What else can I do? I need, you know, some type of dimer. If you're going to be standing in one place doing tight handles a lot, you need to be unpluckable. And then yeah, I think this is a good setup. I have one attribute left, but I think this itself is a good setup for a slasher. Maybe downhill, you know what I'm saying? If you're running on a fast break, you're a lot faster. We haven't even touched the slashing point yet, but just these badges alone already make my slasher look 10 times better. And we would not be able to do this or have the potential 25 upgrades if we didn't max out, you know, our post moves, if we didn't max out our passing. Like I said, it's not too usable. You wouldn't really use it as a slasher doing post moves and stuff like that, or I mean, I guess drop steps, but you don't really do stuff like that on a slasher, so you wouldn't normally upgrade it, get alone max it out. But just having these badges from upgrading it makes it 100 times better. Now let's go to the slashing portion. The slashing, of course, contact finisher, Hall of Fame. That's basically posterizer. You need that if you want to be able to dunk on people. That's not debatable. King contact is a small forward, so I was thinking about having Giant Slayer at point guard. It'll be really effective to have it on Hall of Fame, but you know, I'm a small forward. There's not too many builds that's bigger than me. Maybe on gold, you know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, King contact is a person that's fast but can dunk on bigs, so having a Hall of Fame takes a lot of the slots. I think gold is fine. Like I said, if you're playing against guards, this really isn't useful, so I don't want to take too much of my slots. Acrobat, gold. You could put it in a Hall of Fame. Like I said, we don't have too many slots to mess around with and see. But yeah, Acrobat, gold, Hall of Fame, either one, great choices. It's a very, you know, a very vague badge. Or not vague, but it's a very broad badge. Being able to do spins, half spins, hop steps, euros, cradles, reverses, all that. If you have Giant Slayer equipped and Acrobat equipped, you can either get around them or, you know, can be fully contested and still make the shot. So that's a good choice. Pro touch, need to have on at least silver. If you're timing your layup good, having pro touch will give a boost to your layup. If you release the ball slightly early or slightly late, you will get a boost to your layup and maybe even push it to excellent. But that's just for good timed layup. If you have bad timed layups, then consistent finisher is probably good. I don't really see myself, or at least King Contact, not timing his layups good, so I put it on bronze just as a fail safe, as a, you know, as a bailout. You know, we have pro touch to boost it if we have a good layup, and if it's a bad layup, maybe push it up a little bit with consistent finisher. So yeah, messing around with this, we have a lot of options to just mess around with. Acrobat, I'll put that on Hall of Fame for now at least. Badges like fancy footwork, that can go to gold as well. But I've seen a lot of people wondering what was the difference between fancy footwork and Acrobat. What fancy footwork does is boost your ability to get past your defender, you know, with a euro, for example. While with Acrobat, that boosts your success rate with those euros. So basically, fancy footwork gives you animations, while Acrobat increases your green release window, if that makes sense. So if I did not have fancy footwork, I might be able to green, you know, a couple euros, but I wouldn't be getting good animations. While with fancy footwork, I'll be getting good animations but not being able to green them. So having fancy footwork helps you get past the defender with the euros, and having Acrobat helps you finish with a green release, or at least, you know, have a high success rate. Out of all these, you know, teardrops, relentless finishers, you know, probably some go-tos. I think putback balls is a good, you know, a good trade, because I like doing putbacks. I don't do them as much, but I like having them. Now that we have finishing and playmaking, you only get one for shooting. Recommend putting this on slippery off ball. A lot of these, if you're a slasher, they don't really affect you. I guess flexible release, catch and shoot, corner specialist, those are some good ones. This is probably the best thing for slashers to do if you're trying to cut to the basket for a oop or anything like that. I don't know if having it Hall of Fame increases, you know, your juke moves or anything like that, but having it on bronze just seems like a good thing to do if you're trying to get open. Finally, the defensive badges. Intimidator, clamps, pick dodger. I mean, there's no real reason. Only have 5 attributes. Maybe tireless defender, so you don't use too much stamina, but I heard they're going to change how the stamina works a little bit. I want to upgrade this more, but I don't have that much. But like I said, these are, I'm just scroll through them one more time so you can just look at them. But yeah, Acrobat and contact finisher on Hall of Fame, fancy footwork and Giant Slayer on gold, pro touch on silver, and then we have consistent finisher, teardrop, putback balls, and relentless finisher on bronze. Then we have shooting, we just have slippery off ball on there. Playmaking, we have ankle breaker, stop and go, quick first step on Hall of Fame. We have tight handles and handles for days on gold, bailout and unpluckable on silver, and then we have dimer downhill and space creator on bronze. Then for the defending, we have clamps, intimidator on silver, and then pick dodger on bronze. So that is the King Contact build. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like. After this part of the video, you might see highlights or anything like that from me playing the prelude. But like I said, everything I said in this video is not locked in. A lot of stuff is going to change regarding, you know, stamina, acceleration, and speed, being able to customize your pie charts and things like that. I don't know if that one's confirmed, but I know they at least recognize that people wanted to do it. So a lot of stuff is going to happen, which I'm excited for. I want to see how it's done. As of the demo version of the game, this is how I'm built now. So yeah, that, you know, if you want to copy, you can. I'm not going to say it's the best slasher build period, but it's my slasher build. It's the King Contact slasher build. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like and a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe if you aren't, and I will see you guys later. Peace.